It's my great privilege to be talking with Anthony here at the Workshopper Retreat in beautiful Italy. Stunning backdrops. Anthony, tell us a little bit about yourself. What has been your journey to getting to this point of being at the Workshopper Retreat, and a little bit about what you do.
Okay, well, hello everybody. Thanks for having me. My journey started quite a long time ago. I started building websites. I always had a big love for design,
yes.
But I also always had a big love for psychology. No, I wasn't a really good student. I didn't went to university. I took maybe at that time the easy way. But then also a certain moment in my life, it was after quite a big breakup, I started following a course of business coaching and life coaching. What was for me a real eye-opener, finding something with also psychology. I ran a few times during that course against the wall. It's a good exercise to get really out of your comfort zone. And I found my passion for design and psychology was always my main driver. Now, at the time, I was also most of the time, the mediator between designers and developers, because it was always a fight. Developers were only developers, and designers were only designers. Now that changed. A developer needs to know about design, and the designer needs to know about development. But even before that, was it a more internet architect, or it was not a graphic designer, web designer. But I was always so focused also on the needs of the users. But at the time, it didn't have a name. And then certainly UX came, UX designer. So it had a name of actually what I was already doing for 5-6 years. So, and from there on, because I was a UX designer, I also used to run a lot of workshops. But the thing with workshops at the time, it was a bit also like the design thinking workshop. The old ones, just going maybe over the value proposition, talking about the pains, the gains, the jobs, maybe pay relievers, and then you had everything, but there was never really a closing moment, a commitment moment, and that was also something that I always had to do after the workshop, find my way into all the valuable data and then create a new design or redesign from an application.
So it sounds like a decision was what was missing at the end of the exercise. Yeah. Tell me how workshopping and facilitation has changed your ability to be able to help teams get to a decision.
Well, and there was also one thing is that everything related to UX was always taking a lot of time. Like 2-3 months of your research, and then some brainstorming, and then trying to do some prototyping, and then internally, let's say in the company, it felt good, and then they start developing it. And now on my side as a consultant, the longer I was working, billable hours was actually good, but I'm also a person that gets, if I don't feel any passion anymore, I get bored. But I love design, I love UX, so I didn't want to do anything else. And then I've stumbled upon a course from AJSmart regarding design sprints. Before that, I also read an article from Jonathan who said that user research was overrated. And for me, it was really like, finally, somebody has the balls to tell how it is.
Yeah.
So I got into the loop, and then I started doing design sprint course. And for me, it was really an opener, just to solve problem, but besides solving them, creating a solution and searching for validation and see that actually is your idea, is your design, does it have user validation or market validation before starting building your MVP, and because now okay, we have a good idea, we can start investing it instead of just investing from the beginning, and after 9 or 10 months your first MVP is ready, and then actually it doesn't have any traction, or your user doesn't understand it. And from there on, of course, because in the design sprint, it's all different kind of workshops, specific exercises with a begin, with an end, with a choice as a designer. So, and it just flows so much more easier, and it also helps. For me, that most important part of doing design sprint, of all this type of workshop that we now, with with the workshopper community is that you create your own custom workshop. But for me, the most valuable thing is that there was something that I had to do, just on my own. But as I was also interested, in users and psychology, but it's also about people, working in the companies that, just people have, because they're all experts, but sometimes they need some guidance, to get really the things out of them and put them in perspective or put them in the right place at the right moment. Also like me, I'm an introvert, and you know how it goes. Egos and extroverts always have the loudest voice, and probably all the team will then follow their decisions. And with this, rules and guidelines and methodologies that we use in the workshops, even the introvert maybe have the best ideas, and he gets also the chance to show it and to do it.
That's really interesting. So it sounds like the facilitation work that you're doing enables everyone to have a voice, to be heard, and that together they get to make better decisions faster, and that results in having clarity around direction, so you actually end up achieving a useful outcome as opposed to just an implementation.
Exactly. And even although maybe the end result of the design sprint is not good, okay, but you know that in 1 or 2 weeks.
So it's a chance to be able to fail fast, to pivot, to save money on building things that aren't required, and to be able to design things more quickly than long waterfall design sessions, and to be able to align around what it is that needs to be done, and then to be able to move forward.
Yeah, exactly. And also, one of my beliefs, and I know if I will be sound a bit cheesy because if I hear it everywhere, but for me, a great UX for a company delivering a great customer experience only happens if the employee experience is good, but it's a mirror, and it goes from a developer, a designer, to somebody at support, or a manager. I mean, if the employee experience is good, it will automatically reflect to the outside of the company. Your customer will notice it, will enjoy it, everything will go smoother. And things like, if you work on a project for 5-6 months and there's a lot of money spent and the end result is really bad, it's very tiring for all the employees, and they put their best effort, they delivered a shitty job, apparently. Yes. So this also weighs on let's say, the motivation of the employees, and all this weighs down on the company. So employees first, and the rest will follow. And with those facilitation of these workshops, you help them, you guide them, you get really the best out of them, and that's really powerful. And that's one of the main reasons why I just love facilitating and working with people. I'm really a people person. I even have goosebumps when I say it, but it's like that.
I get that. And so you've told us about your background in psychology and behaviour, told us about the goosebumps that you feel when you talk about helping people to have a voice, the employees as well as the customers. And yet you've also indicated that the process of facilitation can be very quick. It helps people make better decisions faster to get the direction that they need. This sounds like a fantastic thing that would be worth exploring further. If you were to give someone advice around how they might get started, what would you say? If you feel this need in the company, and you can feel that you really can add value. I mean, I started by going on YouTube. I found AJSmart. Have a look at these few videos. It's about UX. Now it's also more and more about facilitation. If you feel a connection and you're really interested and you feel excited, take the course. It was for me one of the most opening, enjoyable things I did in my career. And for me now, because I'm already almost 20 years in that, I needed something new. I found it, and I know for the next 20 years this will be also my path again. And still being busy with design, maybe more design of people instead of an application, but that's the same for me. That's designing a better life, designing a better employee experience, which always results in better products, better customers, better, turnover and profit for the company. But actually, it's always the most important thing in the economy that we are. Fantastic. Hey, well, thank you so much for your time. I've really enjoyed getting to know a little bit more about what you do, and our time together during the retreat has been wonderful as well. And I look forward to staying connected in the collaboration community.
Sure, and thank you for taking the time and doing this. This is for me the first time, so but I really enjoyed it, and thank you. Thanks for the opportunity also. And we will stay connected, that's for sure.
Wonderful. Ciao.
Ciao.